Hello and welcome to another episode of the Top Table. Over the past few months we've had overwhelming amount of questions regarding rotation, this card, that card, the other card, and the effect it may have on the format. Until now we've only been speculating on what possibly could be rotated and what the possible effects could have on the format. So today we're going to do a very special episode of Top Table, and we are going to discuss a few of the major cards rotating. Today, at this moment, we know that the rotation will be Breakthrough On. Kevin's made us a top 10 list of relevant cards that are rotating. There's no particular order that we're going to discuss these in, we're just going to be discussing them. So, we're not going to be asking any questions today, but there was many questions from many different viewers regarding a lot of these cards. So let's go right on into this here, and let's start with I think probably the most influential card in the set that's getting rotated, Versus Seekers. Let's go ahead and start with Zach today. What do you think about, I mean it's gonna be crazy, right?
For you guys, probably. You guys never played without Versus Seeker.
Oh, calm down. You barely played without it.
I played without it. I played in the format without Versus Seeker. And it wasn't like, it wasn't, there's nothing, it is what it is, you know? I'd love to go back to that format and figure out how I built decks back then. but like,
I think you built by consistency, right?
Yeah,
4
I think so.
3 and 4 of.
I mean, back then, like, 4N and everything, always 4N. So that's probably what's gonna happen. You're gonna see 4N and like everything, because just throwing things away, you can't do that now. You can't just get rid of supporters.
Definitely not. No. And there's gonna be times where you don't want to end. So I feel like Hala is gonna be coming into play a lot. You know, being able to cycle that, and then possibly if you're not playing something that's trying to load up your bench, maybe a first turn Lily, something like that. But
Lily's good.
Keeping cards in your deck, in your hand, is going to be very, very important now.
I think so.
I mean, we're going to miss it, but it's going to be exciting to see how the game develops with it.
I don't know, I think there's some new supporters that just, with Versus Seeker, would have been busted. Like Guzma, like, come on. Like, if you have Versus Seeker Guzma in decks, like, you can't play status effects. Like, there's no way. Like, Muck becomes absolutely useless. Salazzle becomes useless. The new Raichu that permanently, or not permanently, like paralyzes your opponent's Pokemon becomes useless. Like, you can't, like, those are just broken cards.
So, I mean, are we in agreement that it's going to be a different format here? Versus Seeker is a pretty strong card. I mean,
amazing card.
It allows you to Sycamore turn 1. You know, a couple different supporters away, and be able to know that you have a couple Versus Seekers in there, and you can still go.
You're gonna need to be able to manage your resources better.
Do you play Sycamore?
Yeah. What?
Just
Sycamore's always been like the best card.
4 of?
Yeah,
Still
4
Still 4.
You know, Kevin likes
Draw
3 Sycamores.
Draw support. I mean, 3's not bad either.
Yeah.
But it's the best draw support.
Now you definitely play 4 no matter what.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, let's move on to another. This is an item that haven't seen as much play recently due to the new Garbodor. We'll start with Kevin on this one. Trainer's Mail's rotating. I know it was seen in a lot of decks. It's been a staple for quite a while, but the last 3 months it's kind of fallen off, and it's just been a waterfall effect. But it still is a good card. It still was in the format for a long time.
Right. Initially I didn't think it belonged on the list because of how much it has fallen off due to Garbodor. But Zach made a really good point of how prominent it was in the format prior to this happening. Like, I know I played 4 ofs, even 3, you know, and expanded. You're playing it still, so even sometimes like you're fitting it in with the knowledge of there being Garbodor, you're still trying to fit it in because of how powerful that card is. So
does it belong on this list?
If we're talking
like the top
10 cards that got rotated, 100%. Because this card was a staple from the day it was printed.
Yeah.
To now, where the only reason people are taking it out of this deck is because they don't want to play as many items. It's an easy card to swap out for a non-item, and decks are still running them. Like, I promise you, if it stays in the format, decks would find ways to play this. It's about consistency, and this card breeds consistency. It just breeds it.
It is one of the more consistent cards that we have in the format right now.
A lot of cards coming out from this rotation are killing the consistency like train we had. I mean, Versus Seeker gives you so much consistency. Trainer's Mode gives you so much consistency. Like, losing those cards you're gonna have to learn to play without them, which is gonna be a learning curve for some players.
But we'll find ways.
You're gonna play more consistent stuff because you're just gonna play 4 of supporters.
Right.
So, speaking of consistency cards, this might be Zach's favorite card of all time. Forest of Giant Plants is rotating. How do you feel about that?
We knew it was coming.
We knew the day was coming.
We gotta expand it. We gotta expand it.
Yeah, but you know,
like standard, it is what it is. Like, what Decidueye gets hit with it? What else gets hit with it? I mean, Vileplume's gone with it.
I mean, it could be pretty gnarly with.
I mean, there's
Decidueye, maybe like the Lurantis bills that are coming up, just to be able to turn one promo Lurantis, regular Lurantis, and just be firing.
Even
Golisopod, you know what I mean?
It'll nerf Golisopod, like the newer stuff coming up. So
turn 1 GX Golisopod could have been gnarly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll still see some play at Worlds, but until then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. The card's extremely strong. Extremely strong. But as a total format, not that big of a hit for every deck. Like, it's only played in grass, obviously, but it's a super strong card.
I mean, it makes the list because it's a 4 of in a deck that got second in the previous international regional.
I mean, it makes the list just how that's strong.
Strong card.
It's so strong.
Super.
Yeah, exactly.
There's decks that are only around because of this card.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of Vileplume decks. I mean, Vileplume is not that strong without this card, right?
Yeah.
Although I believe Vileplume rotates as well, but still, I mean, cards like that just don't see that much play, if any at all, without this card.
Right, never. 100%.
I mean, you're not a big Forest of Giant Plants user, but
no, I see the huge impact of it. It like I was saying, it nerfs a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously you can rotate to the format or how the current format's being run and just rare candy into what you need, but it's gonna hurt stage 1's the comeback ability of just being able to evolve first turn and having your 210 HP, you know, GX just busting through everything. So
the card's ridiculous.
Definitely one of the top.
I mean, it wins in both formats. Like, you see it win in expanded, and it dominated it in standard this year. So
now we'll only see it in expanded.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be strong.
Well, while we're on the subject of stadiums, another stadium is played heavily in the now rotating Mega Ray, which is rotating. Rayquaza's rotating. Skyfield. I mean, Volcanion, Mega Ray. I mean, so many
Rainbow
decks.
Road.
Yeah, Rainbow Road. So many decks seem to have thrived off Skyfield.
Raichu.
Raichu. I remember when that card came out, and we looked at it and we're like, so much potential for this card. Mega Ray, as soon as it was printed, Mega Ray became a powerhouse. Like, if you weren't, like, everyone was playing it. You're playing for it. Shaman came out with it. You're just drawing through your deck. You're going turn 1 like 1 billion. Like,
that all came out.
Go through half your deck.
It all came out with Roaring Skies, so you have Shaman, Mega Rayquaza, and the Skyfield with Mega Turbo. So that whole deck was literally in one set,
and it's still just getting played today.
Yeah, like it's just wild. That's wild. That whole set. Like, even with Versus Seeker, like that's the last time Versus Seeker was printed. So it's that entire set is probably the strongest set being rotated out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Do you think we'll see one last hurrah with Mega Ray and Worlds?
We'll see. We'll see.
Has it ever won all the way? Has it? I don't think.
Yeah, it did. It won this year, actually.
Okay.
It did win regional this year.
Okay.
I remember, and I think it was an expanded too.
Super Scoop Up's coming back in, and Tapu Koko is.
I'm not too excited about Super Scoop Up because it's kind of a consistency deck. Or an inconsistent card. Anyways. Enough about the stadiums. Let's move right on into another Pokemon. So, Shaman EX is probably the most relevant Pokemon leaving the format.
Definitely.
Are we agreed upon
without
that?
a doubt.
Definitely.
I mean, but at the same time, I feel like Shaman EX isn't really seeing a lot of play in mini decks right now because Tapu Lele is just so strong.
It's great. Shaman, it's got to be in the top 10 list. Just I mean, obviously, it's probably
it was the greatest card from this
for
past few years.
Yeah, easily, without a doubt. Tapu Lele just makes it like the 170 HP is really why it's always had a risk faster.
Being a strong attacker as well as, just
I mean,
makes it
the attack
relevant.
on Shaman's okay. I mean, you get it back, but like, it's the HP that really makes you not play it. If it had 170 HP, people would play it. Yeah,
so
100%.
Eventually we'll get another setup Pokemon with more HP, right?
Not promising you nothing. I don't know about
Even
that.
still, with that, like, Shaman EX is seeing play
It's still
in top decks, like they're
it's
it's
like a
reduced to
one-of.
a one-of, but
But it's still good.
But getting that draw,
That's amazing.
It's just amazing.
It's amazing.
So,
Anything that lets you draw more cards, continue your turn, be able to dig further. Like when it first came out, you played 4 of them, Mega Ray, went through half your deck on turn 1, and you were unstoppable.
Yeah.
A lot of decks ran 3. Decidueye Plume ran 3 of them. Just be able to dig through your deck, set up your board, and at that point the game's over. It really doesn't matter. Like the card's busted. Always has been, always will be. You'll still see play in expanded. It's gonna suck having it gone.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to hit that 110 mark though. A lot of Pokemon have their base attack is like 110 at this point. You know?
It's easy.
So
I mean, that's the only reason it's not getting played is the HP.
Players have adapted to it though. The coming rotation of it, especially just because of the reduced play.
Yeah.
So
it'll be missed, but
yeah, it's not even a thought in my head.
I definitely can't wait for Shaman GX.
Draw 10.
Set of ability, draw 10, place 40 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon as you like. Disclaimer, I just made that up. You're not excited for that card?
No. I quit at that point.
Oh my god, I feel like you quit every other week now.
Oh wow.
The format.
Alright, what's next?
Alright, let's stay on the topic of Pokemon because Vespa Queen is rotating and it has seen quite a bit of play over the last few tournaments and it has done a great job. I don't know that it will continue to, or I don't know that it would continue to after Burning Shadows is out, but I know it's going to be like, there's going to be some people that are pretty sad. They've played Vespa Queen for quite a while now. And
I don't know if it's won.
Yeah, it won.
I mean, did it get first?
Yeah.
One Madison.
One Madison.
One Madison.
And 1 second in
I know it won second twice.
in Virginia.
So it came twice in a row, second, and then won one.
Yeah.
And then not played at national.
Well, but
it was played, but
it didn't have a strong showing. But I know a lot of the top players had stated that was their second choice.
That was their second choice.
So
I mean the card's great.
Even then, that's tough. That's tough.
Force helps it too. Being able to set up the B on
any given turn.
I mean, pretty much the whole deck goes though. I think the only thing that's staying right now is Klefki.
Yeah, it's tough. Like once Bow Compressor was gone, everyone was like, "Oh, you can't play this card," but people found a way.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Broken. It worked.
Well, there's a lot of cards that came out that were like, okay, actually, I don't need Battle Compressor, like the unknowns. Just get rid of them.
The Klefki
unknown.
is busted.
There's a lot of things that just
Ultra
came out
Ball,
to it. You got a lot of help. Like if those cards don't get printed, this card you're never talking about this.
There's a lot of B love somewhere up in the Pokemon hive.
Someone's seen this deck in Pokemon World and was like, all right, we gotta continue to make this viable.
Do you think it's the same guy who likes Greninja or who likes Eevee?
It's definitely the guy who likes Greninja. Or it's probably the dude that's printing all the Charizards.
No, that's the same guy who's printing all the Mewtwo's. He's like, he runs everything.
The Mewtwo's are good, though.
Not all of them.
Usually.
Hey, Mewtwo's good. It's a good card.
Good.
It's always good.
Just like Zoroark. It's like 30. That's bad.
Good. Mewtwo's 90% of the time is good.
Alright, well, I think Vespa Queen has had its had its fun in the rotation, and it's been a pretty good card.
Made its mark.
It will probably be played in expanded still. There are some different builds for expanded though.
Really?
Night March Vespa Queen.
I think you just played Night March over Vespa Queen. Like
the combination of the two is good. You just need versatility with the typing.
We'll agree to disagree on that.
Yeah, we will.
Because this sounds really bad.
No,
No.
I like it.
Alright, moving on.
Expanded. It's not a bad deck next week.
well,
Don't
Vespa
listen to
Queen-
Kevin. He's
Vespa
played
Queen,
expanded twice in his life.
Yeah,
so.
Vespa Queen Night March is bad, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
anyways.
Alright, well, let's go back to another card that has been a great card for a long time, and I think if we didn't get the Guzma print in here, we would all be suffering pretty bad with Lysander or Lysandre.
Yeah,
Lysander.
I know it's Lysander, but it says Dre at the
It does
end of
say Dre.
I never understood why it's Lysander, but it says
it's
Lysandre.
Lysandre.
He's French.
Lysandre.
I mean, how good has Lysander been? How many times have you won a game or lost a game? How many times has your heart been crushed to Lysander?
Like, if that card's not in the format.
How many times have you been like, all right, I'm going to end him down to 2. End him down to 2. And he beats Versus Seekers or Lysander, the 2 cards that are rotating. Boom, and there it is.
It is the game winner. Like, that you need, all right, I need this at the end of the game to win it. I need this to win.
And Guzma's still good, but it's going to be a little harder to win the game because you have to have a Pokemon set up on the bench. That's definitely more fair.
I think it's a more fair card. Being able to just Lysander and go, I win, is pretty busted. With Guzma, at least you got to have a better board state to win the game.
Right. I mean, you can't now. You're not going to be able to Lysander anything out and just let it sit out there. You know,
Yeah.
Guzma coming in.
can
And
use
just,
both,
it's an
offensively.
Olympia along with the Lysander. So minus the 30 HP healed, it's just two supporters in one.
Yeah, you can use. It's not just that helps a lot too.
So will you sleep better at night knowing that Lysander won't be around anymore? Or is this going to like...
There's still a Lysander. You're still targeting a Pokemon and bring it out to active. You just have to be able to switch. But we have Floatstone. We have ways. There's too many times where I've Lysandered something out and then retreated into what I need. Now I don't have to waste the retreat.
I think Guzma is just such a better card because there's so many times when you have Lysander in your hand and it's dead. Like, it's a dead card. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Where at least Guzma, I can get my active out.
Yep.
It can be used in an offensive way.
Yeah, Guzma is like more of... You can use it as a setup card.
Yeah.
Like, you can set up your bench and not be afraid to start something and hook up any energy. Just, you know, knowing that you have Guzma there when you need it.
Glissapod,
with
you could
Glissapod,
just play that and get that big damage off for 1 energy using the Guzma if you can't switch.
150 with Choice Band.
There's so many more versatile ways that Guzma is just better card than Lysander. Don't get me wrong, Lysander has been busted forever. The card is probably the card's stupid. Just being able to Lysander pick any card you want and just win the game.
I mean,
without a game state.
It's only not going to be missed because they reprinted something similar.
If they don't print Guzma right here,
we're missing it hard.
We're playing 4 catchers, like I was saying. We're playing 4 Pokemon catcher, and we praying.
Are you playing any Pokemon catcher?
We're not playing any Pokemon catcher.
You're not playing any.
Unfortunately.
We're going to save that for Martine.
Yeah, Martine, he can play Pokemon
especially
catcher.
how they turned out for Jesper in the international championship. I don't think he hit a single one.
No, he did it.
No.
Not on stream, at least.
No.
Yeah,
and we know you watch, so haha, trolls on you, Justin. So, Lysander, it's going to be crazy not to see it around. But hey, the game has to move on. We have to have new cards. It's healthy, you know. I don't think it's as healthy in Japan where they're just playing with all the same cards over and over. It's almost like cancerous. And at least here we get a refresh the game every once a year. The game's refreshed. New cards come in, old cards leave, and it kind of keeps the creativity like flowing and moving and going.
And we have expanded.
We still have expanded.
Yeah, expanded's awesome.
It's the same thing as Japan, pretty much.
It's a whole new game change. You're like, oh, wait. And it keeps value in cards, which, like, Shaman would get rotated, the value would go down to like $5. Yeah, your Shamans are still solid. Yeah, I promise
like
you.
25, 30 bucks. Yeah.
Your Shamans are solid. Those cards don't lose value as much. It's so healthy for the game to have 2 formats like this. Yeah.
Alright, well, we got a couple things left we're going to talk about. Team Magma's secret base has seen a lot of play recently with Drampa out. I mean, it also saw some play with Magikarp Gyarados, but I mean, it's a really strong card right now in this format today. I think it's, once it leaves, I think Garbodor, Drampa loses a little bit of the steam.
Yeah, I mean, other than Rainbow Energy, you don't have a way to attach or to get damage onto it.
You said it perfect.
Rainbow Energy sucks in that deck.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's his name? The guy who just played Rainbow Energy.
Right.
Did not play.
Right.
Did not play.
He played a very consistent build, and props to him. But it's just another way to put damage on.
There is no way this card should be in the top 10 cards that got switched out.
Then why?
Absolutely not.
Why is it in almost every single deck in the top?
Deck?
Almost every single deck in the top 32?
Except the one that won.
Okay, except the one that won.
Why don't you just play that version
I mean,
and just win?
Hey, he had a great build,
and that's gonna happen.
Well, he was smarter and he didn't play that crappy card.
At the end of the day, that card slows the deck. No. This card speeds the deck up. Rainbow Energy slows the deck down.
No.
Yes.
Play your. No, it's just better.
It slows it down.
Yeah, but it's more consistent.
It slows the deck down.
You don't really have an.
You play this, you help your opponent.
No, you blow it off the field when you're done.
Okay, you just got everything in your head. You're gone. You're just a god.
Okay, here, let me set the scenario up for you, okay? You have a DC attached to Drampa, okay? However, he's inactive. You got a Floats on your active. He's inactive, wherever he may be. But he's ready to go. In your hand, you have a Rainbow Energy and a whatever the rest of your cards are, and you have a regular energy too. Right. Unless you're you have to attach the Rainbow Energy to the bench. Okay. And now you still don't get an attack with Drampa.
Says who? I got multi-switch in my
hand. So you just have everything in your hand?
Yeah. If you got everything, I got everything.
No, I'm just saying it.
What? No.
Okay. Now you're playing. Now you're playing another item in a garb-heavy field that just adds to it.
I'm just telling you right now. Okay, maybe it's good in Drampa. Sure. Play it however you want. In no way is it top 10 cards that got rotated.
Okay,
no way.
Because
it's
of
in one deck.
Because of how viable it has shown up. Because of how viable it's shown up in the
it's not even viable. The deck that wins didn't even play it. So like, how can you even put it in the top 10 list?
Because of how many decks it's been in the top 32
one deck.
or one deck. How many times has that deck shown up in the top?
It's good. Yeah, but it didn't win.
It has one more than without it.
It doesn't matter. It's not the top card. It's one of the top 10.
People have been building garb with Rainbow Energy since the day it came out, going to the same competitions. Sure. Magma Base has more top 32 places than the garb Drampa with Rainbow Energy.
I don't believe you. Okay.
I agree with you that maybe it shouldn't be in the top 10.
Maybe it shouldn't.
But right now, in the past 3 months, this has been one of the most strongest cards in the format.
Let's agree to disagree.
Supporter cards. One of the most strongest support cards in the format.
Yeah, support cards as a stadium. Yeah,
it was good. Definitely. It was good during Seattle. After that, it skyrocketed in price. And then everybody's like, it's not that good.
Well, because I don't want to spend $16 on it.
Yeah.
It's just not that good because when you play it onto the field and you face the mirror match, you literally give your opponent the advantage.
Alright, well, I'm crossing that out. I've heard you guys argue enough. If you guys couldn't tell from the argument, Kevin obviously came up with this list for us.
Let's agree to disagree.
I think it's a very good card to be on this list. If it's not in the top 10, it's definitely in the top 15 because it has a huge impact on the format over the last 3 months.
It's okay.
Then again, Zach just thinks everything's bad, so
that's not true.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We have a couple cards left.
You're the one who didn't want Trainer's Mail in the top 10 list, alright? So how can anyone even believe anything you say?
But it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, because I had screamed at you for like an hour.
Oh, let's move on and talk about the Evolutions. What do you guys think?
Shouldn't be in the top 10 list either.
Good cards. I mean, they're grouped together. Again, another card or group of cards that's played in.
Has it won anything?
Multiple decks.
Yes.
What?
It's been in Vesta Queen. It was in the winning build.
Okay. What? The Flareon.
It's played in so many different decks. So many different builds are playing with Zoroark, even with Garb, with anything that's a stage one. This is being played.
By the end of the day, they're like, it's probably better without them. Like there's a better version
and
without them.
you know this. You're talking to them directly.
100%. Look at the top list. They're like, that card's good, but
then why are some top players choosing to play it?
Some people are. Not the winning decks are.
Okay,
that's just not that good.
All right, and I guess you clearly know what winning decks are.
Yeah, look at the list.
You clearly know.
Do you even look at the list?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Is that how you made this list?
Yeah, I did. I looked at all the cards rotating, and I looked at all the cards that were in top, that came in top. Okay. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
All right,
I just don't think the EVL evolutions definitely should not make the top 10 list. Like the cards are good. It literally has been irrelevant until GXs were out.
And just so everyone knows, we're talking about the Flareon, the Vaporeon, and
the one that changes your.
If you want to,
and the Jolteon.
Yeah.
That changes your typing.
It doesn't even know the cards. It's irrelevant.
It changes your stage 1 Pokemon to that type Pokemon, so you hit
the card has been irrelevant for like 3 years. It seemed a slight to play in the last year, and now it's in the top 10 cards that got rotated. No way.
Okay, and then what do you think? What do you think? Because it's in multiple decks and it affects multiple decks. Yes, that's why.
It does not win, and it's only been in multiple decks for the last.
You keep saying it doesn't win. Go do your research. Go do your research.
It doesn't win.
All right, we're gonna end it right there. Obviously, we can't.
It actually
agree,
was
Zach
the card.
Stubborn.
It was actually the card that won the Vespiquen the first place.
Well, it's in a Vespiquen deck.
But
we're gonna put it
without that card, Vespiquen loses.
Okay, sure.
No, 100%. You play Metagross.
Okay, but I'm just saying it wins one tournament, and we put it in the top 10.
It's cool. I'm done talking about it because you're never gonna agree.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna agree with it because
so that's okay. That's okay. And
there's definitely better cards that got rotated.
I need a gavel.
If you guys have an opinion, submit your comment.
Yeah, submit your comment, please, down below, and let us know what you guys think. Let us know what the most underrated or overrated card that we talked about today is. We have one card left, and I think this is a major card that's getting rotated because so many cards right now have so many good abilities, and we're losing Hex Maniac.
Yeah.
You seem excited about that.
I'm upset. That's rough. Hex Maniac going out is tough. That's probably one of my favorite cards, but because Versus Seeker's rotating out, I think that's okay because I'm not playing for Hex Maniac.
It's not happening.
Yeah. So
like in my head, the card's busted. Been busted. Always shutting off abilities is always good. Am I glad it's gone? Yes. 100% glad it's gone. I wish Garbodor would go with it. I'm 100%.
He's talking about Garbotoxin.
Yeah, Garbotoxin. I'm 100% for just using abilities, just going off on people. So seeing it go, I'm fine with it. I'd rather play decks with abilities. Does it deserve to be in the top 10 list? 100%. The card is good. Card's always been good since the day it was printed. And that's why it should be in this top 10 list.
Yeah, Hex Maniacs, we're sad to see you go. Unfortunately, there's nothing right now that's going to replace you. So, for now, farewell, Mrs. Hex, and we'll see you around some other time, hopefully.
Wish we got a full art. The card looks amazing. The full art in Japan looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
So maybe one day they'll do something. I doubt it, but if we get it back, we get it back. But it better be full art. If you're gonna reprint this card, it better be full art. I do not want to see no stupid reprint of a non-full art version of it.
Nah, if they bring it back, I mean, I wouldn't mind as long as they bring it back.
I will.
It'd be cool to see a full art, but as far as full arts go, I feel like they've come up with a lot of the secret rares. They've done a lot of full arts, so it wouldn't bother me either way.
All right, well, I think that is the end of our list. I'm gonna do what we normally do and put this in the Pokey Round file. I'm gonna thank everyone for watching this episode. Stay tuned for our mini episodes. We have 7 different episodes of 7 different programs a week. Make sure you share this video, make sure you like it, and make sure you press the subscription button right down at the bottom. Thank you from Team Sack or Scoop, but for now,
let's scoop it up.